Hey, welcome to the Watch List podcast where we're going to watch a ton of movies and hopefully make our watch lists shorter. This week we watched the. Nope, that's the wrong movie. I almost said The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. This week we watched 12 Angry Men, and they were indeed quite angry, and we are not so. All right, welcome back to the Watch List podcast. This is episode numero dos. That's exciting. Woohoo. Hopefully, yeah. This is exciting. We actually have one other person with us who you will hear from soon. But before we get started, I'm Obed, and with us is Asher.
What's up, guys? I'm Asher, and this is Israel right over here.
Hello, hello, hello. And today we have Shawn.
Hey guys, it's Shawn.
What's up, guys? It's Shawn.
Let's go.
Shawn is another friend and a recent addition to the show, which makes 6, although this week it is just 4 people. Chase was supposed to be on, but there were conflicts, so he was unable to do that, and Johnny as well. But that's okay. We can keep shooting.
They're not getting a paycheck.
No.
Wait, you guys are getting
Yeah, they're
paid?
not gonna get.
I am.
Obed send me V-Bucks.
Whoa.
Yeah, Fortnite payments. Yeah.
Is that what those are? I'm serious. I didn't know that was Fortnite.
Yeah, they come from that game.
Yes, Obed.
yeah.
V-Bucks is for Fortnite, not OnlyFans.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay. Moving on from that. Yeah, we watched 12 Angry Men this week. I quite
We
enjoyed
did.
the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go over some details of that movie, first of all. I think that's kind of important. The 12 Angry Men is 97 minutes long. It was released in 1957, directed by Sidney Lumet. It is a drama, like a courtroom drama, basically. As of when we record this and when we watched it, it was streaming on both Tubi and Pluto. And it has a 9 out of 10 on IMDb and 4.6 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Should be higher, but that's fine. And this movie is basically about 12 men that are part of a courtroom jury who have to make a decision on whether or not they're going to send someone to the chair, as they say in the film. And before we go on, as we mentioned last week, we do not do spoiler-free episodes. We will spoil the movie, even though it came out in 1957, but I hadn't seen it till now. But yeah, anyone have anything they want to say about it? Because I really enjoyed this film.
I do, if I may.
Go ahead.
So, I think the beautiful thing about 12 Angry Men is that it's the one movie that you can point any aspiring filmmaker to and be like, hey, here's a movie that is proof that you don't need a big budget or a fancy anything to make a good film. You simply need a good script and to write a shootable, affordable film. This whole movie takes place almost entirely in one room, and it's simply just a good script, and that's what makes it good, and good direction as well. So I think it's great because a lot of filmmakers start out like, oh, I want to make a superhero movie, or I want to do something huge, I want to write a feature first, and like, it's good to just start with like small ideas like this, like 12 people arguing, and then that's really the premise, right? And so, yeah, I think that's my favorite thing about 12 Angry Men.
Yeah, I would like to point out it's like probably maybe the best chamber film ever made. As Shawn said, it takes place in one room, one jury room, and you're in that room precisely like the whole film, and it's just 12 guys arguing with each other to see if this guy is innocent or guilty. And it just shows how what Shawn was saying, that a movie, a film, a story can still be impactful even if it's just in one location. I mean, let's just talk about the acting in this film. The film acting is amazing. You even though you never learn these characters' names until like 2 of them till the end of the film, which, by the way, fun fact, they're all named in the credits, like Juror 1, Juror 2, Juror 3, which is really interesting because it's like you're a fly on a wall in this film and you don't know anyone's name. They're all strangers. They don't know each other. And You're just experiencing how they have the ability to send someone to die, which captures you right away. And I think that's why you should always start small, like what Shawn was saying, because it can leave a huge impact.
I completely agree. So again, hadn't seen this movie until today. I think it's absolutely brilliant, well put together. The oneers from the beginning stood out to me, and I did partially rewatch like the first maybe half of this movie, almost half of the movie earlier today, just to refresh it in my mind because I saw it 2 days ago, like last week.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's cool is that, particularly the acting, I think is absolutely incredible. You can see exactly what each person thinks just in that opening pan when you see each person in the jury while the judge is telling people, like, here, this is your responsibility. This is what is expected of you. And you can see who's made a decision and who hasn't made a decision and kind of what they think. I also love that it starts off extremely calm. Like, it's a movie titled 12 Angry Men, and so far it's just 12 guys that are sitting in a room just trying to not sweat everything off. I thought that was cool. And both of you mentioned, like, it's a chamber film. This is in one room. Well, I think the whole film takes place in two rooms. The opening courtroom. You also have that one, like, walkthrough through the actual, like, court hall. So there's 3 locations total.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so beautiful. And it's around a table where men are just sitting and talking and discussing, and they get up and, oh, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so interesting how much, as an audience, we love to see people argue. Hence, like, why people love the episode of The Bear called Fishes, where the almost like half the episode is just an argument within the family, or even like why people love Aaron Sorkin. Like, the opening of The Social Network is incredible, and it's just two people talking. So it's so interesting to see people come at each other. And I think what makes it unique with this film is that it uses that to convey like prejudice, because as you see everybody's point of view, you see like most of them were jumping to conclusions and kind of assuming, and also kind of voting based on their own bias rather than like actually digging. So I think the movie kind of challenges you to dig and to let go of those prejudices. And I think that's what I really like about this film. It kind of peels back the layers really well. And like, you think it would be a lot to handle 12 people, 12 characters, but the movie does it very well.
I would like to point out how this film is like the definition of how one person can make a difference. Ever since the beginning of the film, it's the one juror who always stuck by his gut and said he's not guilty. And then as the film goes on, slowly each juror starts to agree, yeah, he's not guilty, he's not guilty. So I think it's important to like realize that even if you seem like the odds are completely against you, you can still come out on top, which I thought was very interesting what happened here, because no matter how much they try to talk him down out of it, he's like, they were like, look at all this evidence. He can't remember the movie he saw. He doesn't remember any of the stars in it. His friends said they didn't see him or something like that. He still kept with his gut and tried to get as much facts as possible to prove that this boy was innocent. And I believe that can be taught as like any situation that happens today. Like, if you believe enough, it can happen, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It was the idea of reasonable doubt, you know, which was the only thing like that played the whole thing. Is like, is there one thing that makes me doubt enough? And it turned out there was plenty of it. But yes, turning everybody. That was also what the show on Apple TV, Presumed Innocent, kind of opened with, that idea of reasonable doubt. There's even a slight doubt in your mind. But I agree that like this one man, I called it early on, Israel, we were watching it together. I was like, he's going to convert everybody to innocent, right? He was like, I don't know. But yeah, this one guy has the power just to plant an idea, and it makes everyone go from making a very quick decision to realizing the weight of their decision. and realizing that they need to be careful with what they choose and consider who they're sending away, if they're going to send them away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched this movie for the second time with you, so I didn't want to spoil it when you were like, "Oh, is this what's gonna happen?" I was like, just watch the movie. Just watch the movie." The first time I watched it was, I think, a couple of years ago. I think like 2, maybe 3 years ago. It was for one of my classes, and I was going into it very like I didn't want to watch it. I was like, "Do I really want to watch this movie from the 50s and write a whole paper about it?" So the first time I watched it, I was really, I really doubted how much I would enjoy it. And I think I was actually with Obed when I watched it. He doesn't remember that I watched it in his presence, but I did. And I remember I told him the first time I watched it, like, I was like kind of like bored at the beginning, but because I was being forced to watch it, quote unquote. But yeah, it was really interesting how it began to like get my attention the more it went on. Like once they started like to really argue and like see how, I think I forgot the main guy's name who was against them, but I think he was juror what, 8 or 7?
I thought it was like 3.
3? Okay.
One of the jurors.
One of them.
He was a juror.
The main guy. Once he starts like changing people's minds, that's when I really started to like be like, oh wait, this is good. This is cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a big
Juror
fan of
3, it
good
was Juror 3.
dialogue.
It definitely reminded me of a Sorkin movie, much like you just said it, Sean. The Social Network, or
Right.
Steve Jobs.
It has I feel like it gives A Few Good Men vibes. It's a Sorkin like court drama.
Mm-hmm.
Sorkin, yeah. But I think what's cool too about this film is that it does mirror like kind of the justice system that we have, and like it's crazy to I've worked a lot with like organizations that help people who've been like unjustly imprisoned get out early, and like stories I hear, the people I meet that tell me their story are exactly like this kid, like people from that were underprivileged, people that people usually are prejudiced against, and so just jump to conclusions because they want to get like the sentence over with. And so I think such an interesting aspect of 12 Angry Men is that they don't even, I'm pretty sure they don't even know each other's names until like the end. So it's crazy that you have all these people making a life and death choice, and they haven't even like gotten each other's names, and are just, you have people that don't really care. They're just wanting to like leave, catch a baseball game, and so it's really interesting that Sidney Lumet kind of uses all of those elements to build the conflict, and he does it really well. I think what's so cool about the way he sets up the plot is he'll give us these devices like, oh, the train, the glasses, the knife, the movie, and then we're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But then he's like constantly turning all of those devices on their head, especially when they're talking about like the knife, and then the main juror, they takes out the knife that he bought and then puts it on the table to show them that it's pretty easy to get. So I thought, yeah, just the way he builds to those plot points. And it's like with each plot point, there were more jurors changing. So I think like even if you take a film that is about one person, that's kind of like what a like good narrative writing does, is it takes an idea, peels back the layers, and as the beats progress, the story beats progress, there's more like antithesis to the thesis, and it keeps evolving. The theme keeps evolving to like a final kind of climactic moment. So I think those are a few things that also really stick out to me for the film.
Agreed,
No, I
agreed.
agree that knife scene is probably my favorite scene in the whole film. How once again, they all doubt that he's innocent, and all of a sudden he's like, well, and guess what? Just does a whole 180, picks up a knife out of his pocket and lays it on the freaking table. And they're like, where did that come from? How did you get that knife? And then it's like the same knife that apparently was used to murder, what was it, the dad? So supposedly the son murdered the dad.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was such a like a very powerful moment, and it's not even like super crazy. It's just a very nice 180, I guess, twist, and it's just really simple, but yet it's captivating. Like, I don't know if that's the right word, but like whenever I saw this movie for the first time, because this is my second time watching it too. I remember watching this, and whenever he pulled out the knife and laid it on the table, I immediately gasped. I don't know why. It was just the way I reacted. I was very excited to see, oh, the story thickens, and I think that's what helps this movie grow as well. Like, it's making the audience ask for more. Like, wait, how did he get the knife? How is this all connecting together? I think when it comes to movies, I like solving puzzles. I like when, maybe I'm overthinking sometimes, but when people theorize of like, what's the next movie, what's going to happen in the story, who's who, and stuff like that. That's just what makes me beg for more content and bigger stories. And so the same thing happened in this movie. They've been doing stuff like this since the 50s, guys. Twists and turns and
No cap.
theorizing for new content has been around forever. It's not anything super new, but it's just a smart and easy way to gather your audience's attention, even if it's just the simplest detail.
I was sitting on my laptop during the whole film with just a full screen note open, just writing down my thoughts so I wouldn't forget. And in all caps, I put the same knife. um, I don't know if I audibly gasped, but I think I at least mentally did. I was like, bruh.
Yeah, I heard you typing like
Like-
every 2 seconds.
I know. Every thought that came into my mind, I wrote it down because I forget things too quickly. So I was like, I need to get my reaction so I can reference this back again later. Yeah, that was the first time in the film where, you already have some people turning, right? I don't know if it was one or more, but someone's turned at least. And this is like, bro, here's literal hard evidence that there's a possibility that this kid didn't do it. No one else may have discovered it, but it's here. And with that alone, it made them re-examine everything that was put across their table, like in front of them. Whatever's put in front of them is like, well, we need to look at this way more closely than just at face value. Like at the end, where they're discussing more about the lady that says she saw the murder, the only eyewitness. Turns out she was wearing glasses, or she should be wearing glasses, but she wasn't wearing glasses because it was night. It was sleeping. She was sleeping, not it was sleeping. She was sleeping. And like all those little pieces. Also, that guy that said he never sweats, I put in all caps, he's sweating when he first sweats.
I think
Yeah,
that
and
one.
it's. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. I think that one, Obed, you audibly gasped.
When he was sweating?
Yeah.
I was like, this guy, he said he doesn't sweat. He's sweating. He's nervous. After that, I wrote, dang, 11 out of 1. He's staying with the OG evidence and is ignoring stuff.
Small details matter. So many people sometimes overhype movies. Sometimes they're like, we need like a big event. We need this character to show up. We need this character to do this. No, small details matter. Even if it's just a sweat on someone's forehead, it's such a great detail, especially when it goes with a line, And I believe there are so many small details in this film because it's all in one room, like 90% of the time. So you got to look around what's going on, what people are doing, how are they acting. Like, actions show character. And especially, I forget which one. It was the more angry juror where he was like, oh, he's guilty the whole time. It was one of them. And
Until the
I
very
noticed
end.
how he kept
Juror
walking
3,
around
I
the
think.
room. Yeah, he kept walking around the room, pacing and pacing. Like, I understand he wants to leave, He's like, I want to go home. I don't want to be here. But, like, it's such a big moment, You are deciding if this person lives or die, and yet his only concern is, I want to go home. And you see that because the main character, the one, I guess you can count him as the main character, the one that thinks the boy's innocent, he's slowly walking around, taking his time, breathing, steadily breathing, and trying to prove that the boy's innocent. While this guy, who's like, no, he's guilty, he murdered, he's like shouting, he's like moving all over the place, and it just shows that action tells the character how he is a very extreme guy, and he has little care to none at all about this kid that can potentially be on death row. And that's why, going back to little details matter, it's important when you're making a character not to just, give them lines, give them a personality, Like, what do they do whenever they walk around or in a tough situation? Do they stay in one place? Do they fiddle with their hands? Do they pace back and forth? And that's what this guy did. He kept pacing back and forth and raising his voice. And so when it comes to writing, I don't know if his actions were in the script. I've never seen the script in person or online, but I think it's good directing, because I do believe the director probably blocked with him, saying, this is how your character is, you're not a chill guy. You don't want to be here. So I need you to walk around the room a little bit, raise your voice when you say your lines. You do not care. And so when it comes to details like that, it is very important, and that anyone who wants to make a movie should follow that.
Are you talking about the really angry juror that he was like the last one to make a decision, or the guy that wanted to go to his baseball game?
I think the guy that was going to his baseball game. I think that's who I'm referring to.
Okay, that's not juror 3. Sorry, I mixed it up. This movie's also got a lot of setups and payoffs, which I love. They set up that baseball game really early, and a lot of these characters are given, many of them are given something to like incentivize them to hurry up and move on. And juror 3 specifically, who's the last one to turn, he doesn't really have an incentive to move on, but his incentive is his relationship with his son, like, angers him. And he sees his son in the kid that they're convicting, and I think he sees himself in the guy that died. Because in a way, his relationship with his son died after the fight that they got in. And one of the first things he says when they're making their decision is, I don't have any personal stakes in this, and then the next time he speaks, he's like explaining why he has personal stakes in this without explicitly saying that. And that from there showed me, this guy's going to be the last one to turn. But it was just really cool to have these, what are they called? Unreliable narrators, I guess you could. Like, they're saying their own story, but they're not reliable because they're going to show why it's the opposite of what they're saying. Shawn, it's been a hot minute. You were going to speak earlier, and we just kept talking.
No, you're good. No worries. I don't remember exactly what I was going to say. I know that one thing I was thinking about when you mentioned him sweating was, I just remember this very ambient, almost feeling like an intermission section where it's like this dolly shot going through and they're all like taking their jackets off and they're sweating, and I think it starts raining, and like I just think that for such a claustrophobic film, it's so interesting that the director still took time for those like ambient shots, and he cared about building the atmosphere and building that kind of vibe to it. So it just shows that like it's good even in your script to like, or even when you're directing, editing, to like give room to breathe for those moments of like ambience, to kind of feel the world, feel the environment, rather than just like, just cut to all the dialogue and just get the dialogue out of the way and start late, leave early. Like, all those rules are important, but I think it takes a skilled director to realize like, no, we're actually just going to breathe for a second. And it also kind of keeps the audience interested too, because then you're not just getting everything you want immediately. It's actually like forcing you to wait, and I think that's pretty smart.
The opening of the film too, I mentioned earlier, is extremely slow. And it's the opposite of 12 Angry Men. And the credits too is really cool, how they're just in their decision room and it just kind of camera just stays and rolls your credits, and everyone walks in calmly and puts their stuff away, and you see those characterizations clearly written in and decided on by the director and the editor and the cinematographer. And then you go into your oneer, which is brilliant. But yeah, putting them in one room, not a very big room, around a tight table, because they're sitting there quite compactly. It's raining. It's the hottest day of the year, apparently, according to the news. Oh, it's, yeah. It's great.
Ooh, that's a cool detail. Yeah, like the news is like it's the hottest day of the year, but all of a sudden it rains. Like that's I don't know. That's just interesting. I mean, I understand it's summertime. I guess it's summertime in the film, but I know there's like scattered storms sometimes during the summer, but I think it's so interesting how it starts off like, very heated. And if I remember correctly, does the film end when it's raining? Like when they leave the building, is it raining?
I don't think so.
No, it's just wet.
Okay. Then I think this is probably me overthinking and just going too deep, but like maybe the rain symbolizes something. They're 12 angry men. They're all getting heated up in arguments, but once they realize that the kid is innocent, the rain cools them down. So I know that's a bit of a stretch, but I think that could be very interesting if you feel me.
Does anyone remember when the rain comes in?
I think
It's like near the third act, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
because they're like, oh great, now it's raining.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that when watching the movie, so now I want to see like what's happening when it starts raining.
When does the rain come in? We need to know.
He's checking right now.
I am. I'm pulling up the film. I'm trying to see when it's raining.
No, it was just a thought. I mean, it's probably way out there. Maybe the director did not mean that at all, but it's just interesting,
With a movie this purposeful with every decision it makes, I would be surprised that the rain doesn't mean anything. Oh yeah, now Tubi doesn't want to load anything.
Let me try.
It's like, you want to do something important? Not anymore.
Nope.
Can we talk about how this is like one of the first times I've ever used Tubi? I've never used Tubi before until now. I was like, all right, it's free.
How?
I don't know. I've just never used it. I've had no interest. But now I see that it's free and there's actually some good stuff on there.
Yeah, I used it to watch all the old Transformers shows.
It's pretty good. I discovered it a while ago, back when it was like orange and yellow and blue. Now it's purple and yellow.
The old color scheme was better.
Oh, I agree.
I remember it being. I remember it being orange. Yeah.
It's cool. I like that it's all free stuff. I'm not a huge fan of ads, but you want to watch something free, it's got to be paid for somehow.
Yeah.
So, okay, the rain
Did you
starts.
guys hear about that free TV that you get? It just has like ads on a second screen.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you
there's
sent me
this.
that.
Oh, I did. So, oh yeah, I sent it to Obed, but there's this TV you can buy. It's called Telly, where it's a 55-inch screen, but on the bottom there's like this. It looks like a speaker bar, but it's another small screen with ads on it that are honestly not that intrusive. If you sign up, you get the TV for free. The only thing is like you're giving your information because they're personalized ads. So you're kind of trading your information to get a free TV.
What is it called again?
Telly.
Telly?
It also has like a camera and microphone built in, so I don't know how much
What
they're
the freak?
wanting to spy on you.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Especially since it's ad based and they need information for ads.
Yeah,
Telly
that's
TV.
I just feel like it
Oh my
doesn't balance
goodness,
out.
There is a
like,
second screen.
I just don't see how they're getting profit,
It's
mean,
the same guy that created Pluto TV.
That's
So he's
interesting.
like, well, Pluto worked fine. It's hardware and that costs so much more than
No,
software
literally, it
sometimes.
does. It costs so much. So,
That's
um,
interesting. And it's a 55-inch. Well, is it a 4K TV? Does anyone know?
It's a cool idea though. I almost signed up for it, but I was like, I don't feel like
yeah,
selling
that's fair.
all of this stuff.
Thanks, Mark. You
Okay,
you heard they're
it's
writing a social network too?
oh boy,
Yeah,
what's it
shouldn't do
about?
it. It's about like the how Facebook influenced the January 6th attack. Um, I just feel like the social network is such a masterpiece that there shouldn't be anything else made, you know?
Some movies should never get sequels.
AKA Joker. Oh, what happened?
Asher
Asher
just
left.
dropped from
Oh,
the call.
oh
Joker,
no,
I haven't seen it yet. I
dude,
was going
that was
through
painful.
Letterboxd. I was going through Letterboxd and I was trying to put a bunch of movies on my watch list and stuff.
Yeah,
And it Joker 2 came up and I hovered over the watch list button and I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't feel
so
like
bad.
if I watch it, I'll watch it on a whim, not because I have it on a list.
Yeah, it's a terrible movie. But like the argument is that that's the movie Joker would have made. So who knows?
Oh,
At
I
first I
was
was
like,
like,
what movie?
at first when I saw the movie, I was like, I think Todd Phillips is a genius. I think he's trying to say something with how bad it is on purpose. But then I was like, nah, it's just bad.
I remember you telling me that. That's run through my mind, but I'm like, nah,
Right.
it's got to just be bad for the sake of being bad.
Yeah. I want to watch that
I,
new musical with Tilda Swinton called The End. But anyways, I'm not trying to digress too much from the 12 Angry Men. Also, there's a new film called Conclave that's low-key 12 Angry Men, but it's priests in a
Isn't that what you
church.
said in your review?
Oh yeah, 12 Angry Popes.
12 Angry Popes. You could call them
Yeah.
12 Angry Holy Men.
Yeah.
That's
No
funny.
cap. We should make
Uh,
12 Angry Nuns.
they should make 12 Angry Women. Just
Bruh.
That's the sequel to 12 Angry Men. 12
We're
Angry
gonna
Women.
get canceled, bro.
Why? It's
I don't know.
inclusivity.
People
This
are,
is
people
this
are
is
gonna
a
be like, you can't you as a male no, you know, I'm just kidding.
this Brad,
I'm
this
finna
is
get
a movie
canceled.
with just the guys in the movie. I don't think there's a single girl in here. That's
Isn't
There should be more.
yeah, I don't know. I guess
They
not.
mention a girl, the lady that was the eyewitness.
Yeah. We're canceling
How,
12 Angry Men, guys. It's sexist.
how we're trying to be inclusive.
Yeah, I know, I'm just kidding. You know, there's a line in one of the X-Men movies where Jennifer Lawrence's character says, um, it seems like all the women are doing the work around here. I think you should change the name to X-Women.
Oh, I remember that.
I haven't seen those movies in forever, so I did not know that.
Yeah. So, anyways, what do you guys think was a weakness of Soho Men?
I had trouble finding something wrong with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I At the end of the movie, I sat there with Israel and I was like rating the film and writing my review. And I was like, I'm trying to find a reason why not to rate this 5 stars. Spoiler alert, I rated it 5 stars. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But I was trying to find a reason why I didn't like it. And I couldn't think of anything, to be honest.
Gotcha. Okay.
What about
I
you
mean,
guys?
that's fair.
I'm like really trying hard to think. The rewatchability is very high because I put it on again and I was just as interested as the first time I watched it,
Right.
which is usually what makes a film, less interesting to me is how much I want to rewatch it or don't want
Right.
to rewatch it.
Yeah.
The cinematography I think was on point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fire.
The lighting was like fairly simplistic but still good,
Yeah.
still
Mhm.
interesting. The acting was on point, the dialogue was on point,
Yeah.
like the directing was spotless, I would say.
Yeah, I love how he like all those 12 people at a table, there's a lot of movement. Especially I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking about when they go into the bathroom. It's just smart of the director to like I mean he just didn't get lazy. He wasn't like, all right, just
Mm-hmm.
gonna talk around the table. He actually has them like especially when they're measuring out the steps and everything around the table, like
Mm-hmm.
it was very visually dynamic. He really took advantage of all of the space he had.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of played Minecraft with it, if I would say. Uh, I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah.
It was
So
a
I
sandbox game to him.
yeah, So I'm sure he pre-visited in Ray Tracer before he shot it.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
I mean, Cine Tracer.
Asher, we're talking about things we don't like about this movie. I couldn't think of
I
anything.
I can't really think of it. I gave it a. I mean, I gave it a 5 out of 5. I gave it a perfect score. I really don't have a problem with this film.
Mhm.
Some people are gonna be like, "But it's black and white." Stop making fun of black and white films.
They're the
Stop.
best.
They are amazing.
Black and
They're
white is
really
beautiful,
good.
bro. It really is.
Mhm.
It really is. Like, especially, Sean is a cinematographer, guys. He loves black and white,
Yeah,
and I
dude.
can see why because it's very beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
And
But
when
Um,
yeah,
I'm writing films, I tend to write them like seeing them in black and white versus color. I'm not
hmm
as interested in color. Sometimes I'll
yeah,
make my TV black and white and watch a movie that way, just to see.
it's
I'm
so
like,
interesting.
is this cinematographer any good at what they do? I'm joking.
didn't you do
That's
that
obviously
with
not
Mission
the end all
Impossible?
be all. Sorry,
Did you do that with Mission Impossible?
I did. Yeah. So
That's
obviously,
great.
watching it in black and white is not the end all be all of whether or not something's good because there's multiple factors into it. But I think of it as I'm very interested in the lighting. So like I want to see how dynamic the lighting really is. And when you reduce it down to light values, which is black and white, it's very useful and helpful. So I think we talked about this last week, didn't we? I have a list of films that look good in black and white
Yeah.
in Letterboxd. Yeah.
You did, yes.
Yeah.
It's really interesting too that black and white has made a like really big comeback in like recent years. I mean, there's been a lot of decently big films in black and white. Like the Snyder Cut. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Hey, that
Like
movie's pretty good.
I haven't seen it, but I just
I
know that he
enjoyed
released a black and white version. But anyways, don't comment on that.
it.
What I think is like there's been a lot of resurgence of black and white. Coming to mind is Come On, Come On, even The Lighthouse. Oppenheimer obviously has a lot in black and white. Um,
Dune
there's
2.
like yeah, Dune Part 2 had black and white. That was like infrared black and white, which is I don't know if that's ever been done in movies. Maybe actually, but that was beautiful. So yeah, it's cool to see it's coming back, and I don't know, maybe it's because I've like made a lot of stuff in black and white. I just don't see how people would be turned off by something being in black and white. I think maybe it's because a lot of the old black and white films didn't have dynamic lighting. And so maybe that people think of the flat black and white look, which is honestly so ugly. But like when you watch some of the like dynamically lit old black and white films such as like Citizen Kane, it just shows like how beautiful black and white can be. Or like, oh, Macbeth was another one that came out recently. The Coen's Macbeth, that was like a beautiful, beautiful black and white film. So, yeah, and it's interesting that like people associate it with like vintage. So when you shoot something black and white, it automatically gives it this otherworldly feel. But I don't know, I don't think black and white is like doesn't feel old to me. It just feels otherworldly. That's why I think Dune Part 2 uses it so well during that fight sequence and with Austin Butler's character.
I think I occasionally still associate it with an older vibe. Like if I want to make an older feeling film, oftentimes I'll resort to black and white. But generally, yeah, it's not the definition of old. It's just a good way of making something feel classic, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
If that's the direction you were going in. I was gonna say something and I can't remember. Oh, that flat black and white look that you were talking about. A lot of it stems from television. The standard
Right.
like three camera setup that you have today in sitcoms. I
Yeah, that's
think I
true.
Love Lucy was one of the first, if not the first,
Right.
to implement that. And it was purposefully designed that way because they needed to shoot the shows really quickly. So they're like, well, here's this very flat lighting look. We can put the camera anywhere and we can shoot it live with minimal editing, which allowed for faster and cheaper TV. But because people watch television way more than they watch films, at least now. And
Right.
once that started, that transition, that kind of became the association of black and white as flat and uninteresting rather than what it actually started off as, where
Yeah,
black and white film was extremely interesting before even the early stuff is really, really good.
it is, yeah. Like
I've been
Nosferatu, the old
watching.
old one.
Yeah. Or like even Trip to the Moon's pretty good. Like it's kind of flat, but it's still very interesting. They still play with the light levels. And I've been watching The Passion of the Joan of Arc. I'm trying to remember what year that's from. But that movie is so cool and shot brilliantly. We're gonna have to watch it one day.
Yeah, I'd love to.
And it's this white room basically, and it's the only darkness is like the characters for the most part, and it's just really really cool. I wouldn't say it's completely flat, but it's just really really well done, and it's black and white. And it's taken me like 2 weeks to get through it because I've been watching it in pieces, but I quite enjoy it. Black and white is lit.
When did
Don't
it
get me
come
wrong.
out?
I'm looking for that right now because it's from 19 something.
Dang.
I want to say 1928, not the 40s. Why would I? This was just after The Jazz Singer, so sound wasn't very popular. So it is still a silent film, and it is French from director Carl Theodor Dreyer. It is currently streaming on Max. That's where I've been watching it.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that. Like we'll have to
We'll,
review
def-
it too. And
we'll
watch
definitely
this.
talk about it on the show 100%.
For sure.
A movie I think we should talk about definitely is Sean, you can back me up on this, is Megaboa. Should we watch Megaboa
Bro,
on the show?
Megaboa goes so hard, bro. Nothing has anything on Megaboa, bro. Like,
What
Goodness.
is
I've
Megaboa
never heard of this.
from 2021?
yeah, go on IMDb.
Go
Go on
look at the
IMDb, look at the
credits.
full cast and crew.
Go to like lighting and camera department.
Yeah,
Wait, is that the one Sean was on?
yeah.
Oh, in that case, we're definitely watching this then.
Yeah. You gotta watch.
We actually should watch it because it's really funny to watch. It's
we
terrible, but
Bro,
can
it's
do like
I clicked trailer and the video's not available in our country.
that's
What?
wild.
that's funny.
Wait, I
That's
can see it.
wild.
What's wrong with you?
When I clicked it
Do you have
in
a VPN?
Letterboxd,
Mhm.
no, I don't have a
Oh.
VPN. Well, I do. I don't have access to it.
Bruh.
I don't need one. My mother uses it to watch her out of country TV shows.
Valid.
That's great.
Dude, Netflix Japan hits different, man.
Bruh.
Bro, one time I stayed in Panama and the Netflix catalog was like way better.
It's
It's
Netflix is
crazy.
much better outside of the US.
No, it really is. It goes so hard outside of the US.
This trailer is already rough.
CGI snakes. But Eric Roberts is in it. He worked on The Dark Knight.
I saw
I've
that.
met two actors that have worked on The Dark Knight. That's crazy.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, you have. That's sick. Well, I'm gonna refer to this thing. Did anything? So we can agree we don't really have any dislikes for this film.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say I actually do. I think the only thing for me is like occasionally the dialogue is just a bit on the nose, but that's me being picky. It's still like pretty good. There's just every now and then it's a bit on the nose, but it's good.
Do,
It's kind of hard
do
to
you have
not
an
get on the
example of
nose.
like?
I don't
Do,
remember exactly any specific parts. I just remember when I saw it, like there were just a few moments where I was like, ah, that was a bit on the nose, but again, I don't really have any examples right now, and it wasn't. It's not like most of the dialogue is pretty good. But yeah, but otherwise, I mean, that's literally me nitpicking. The film is really good.
I have to rewatch it, and specifically look for on the nose dialogue to
Right.
see how much I agree or disagree.
That's
I
fair.
thought generally it was good, and it gave me all the information I wanted
Yeah.
and needed. Yeah, occasionally it did like just very directly, not even hint, but just tell you exactly what it was trying to say. Especially when it's like talking kind of about like prejudice in your decisions. It's just like, hey, I made this decision because of the way I grew up or the way I see other people grow up. It's just like very Would that count as on the nose?
Eh,
I like that part though, so
Yeah.
that part I'm not gonna complain about. But yeah,
hmm
other than that, Sean, is there anything else?
Not really, no.
Israel, you have anything you didn't like about it?
No, especially since when I first watched it, I went into it not looking forward to it, and there was nothing I disliked after watching it, and there was nothing I disliked after watching it the second time either. I was just as invested as the first time, or even more invested. So I give it peak cinema rating.
We gotta start picking movies we don't like, but it's okay. We're going through our watch list, so we're finding out like what we like and what we don't like.
Mm.
I would
And
love to tear a movie apart.
me too. It's gonna be fun when we eventually get there. Um, so for those of you listening, we recently settled on like a rotation for how we're picking the movies. So we did that just based on how the last one and this one came up. So Israel picked this film. He suggested it and we all agreed. And I picked The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. So starting next week, it's, Asher's picking a film and we all have to watch it. It's not necessarily we agree on watching it. We're just watching it. Unless it becomes expensive or difficult to do so. In this case, it's not. But we will reveal that movie later because we do have it.
Yeah, my pick is going to be Memoria, the film that only screens in random screenings in theaters and is not available to the public. So good luck, guys.
Yeah, but all those random screenings are like in your area. So
That's fair.
uh,
I actually found a Blu-ray of it. They have Blu-rays in Europe, so I imported one.
all right. Well, next time
Hey,
I'm
do what you
there.
got to do. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
no, like let's watch it soon because yeah. I was a little concerned because I was like, man, there is a beauty to the fact that it was this like one-time thing that I like this almost museum art piece. Um, but I was like, it's too good, like I really want to see it again, so I bought it.
That's how films used to be before television and before you could buy
Oh,
like a
that's so true, yeah.
DVD.
For like
It was
VHS, DVDs, Blu-ray.
streaming. It was in the theater. You had your chance to watch it, and after that, next time you're watching it is if they for some reason run it in theaters again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
That's crazy.
maybe if in an older film you could pass by one of the Nickelodeons and watch a film over and over again, but still, it's like once it's gone, once the Nickelodeon's packed up and left, once the theater stopped showing it because they moved on to the next film, that's it. So movies like this, 12 Angry Men, which is almost 70 years old at this point, like you didn't have a chance to rewatch it until they started releasing them like this,
That's actually wild.
which is really cool and makes you appreciate movies differently,
Right.
I think. But people also didn't. They did and didn't appreciate movies the same way we do.
Yeah.
That's
was
why it's
looking
important to
at-
go to film festivals, guys. Go to film festivals because
Yeah, no cap.
there's short films that won't be released to the public for a very long time or never.
Forever.
Yeah. So like go and watch movies. Go and watch movies you normally
Yeah.
wouldn't see. Get
Yeah,
out of your
exactly.
comfort zone.
No cap.
They're worth it. I say that not having gone to many, if any, film festivals, but I want to go to more. So next time you guys hear about them, let me know.
We will.
Bet.
Random film recommendation. This new debut
for it.
film by India Donaldson called Good One is phenomenal. Watch it.
Can we do this every week? Your random recommendation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We can. I have one more.
What's the film called?
I have one more.
Good One by India Donaldson. I got to see it at the Metrograph here, and the director did a Q&A. But there's another really good film I saw actually at the same place where the director did a Q&A called Between the Temples. It has that one actor Wes Anderson always uses. I'm trying to remember his name. Frick.
Will Ferrell?
No,
Not Will Ferrell.
what?
Freaking,
Bro,
Owen
what?
Wilson? Owen
No,
Wilson?
not Owen Wilson. The other guy that he
Oh,
always
Jason
uses.
Schwartzman.
Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's really, really, really funny. And it's really profound. It's about this Jewish cantor, like a guy who sings at synagogue, who is teaching uh frick, what is it called? Bar mitzvah class, but
Hmm.
he has like a 70-year-old student. Um and he falls in love with her.
Oh boy.
What in the world?
For those interested in watching them before we get to them, if we do, they are available to purchase on most of the platforms. And the last one you mentioned, Between the Temples, is on Netflix US.
Oh, yeah.
Really sick. I don't know who's on there. I asked the director during the Q&A if he read the Letterboxd reviews. He said no, but his editor does.
That's one thing I've always thought. Like, do directors look at reviews of their film? Like, do they care? Like, would you guys care? Like, if you put your short film or a feature online for it to be rated,
Yeah.
would you guys care for the reviews?
I would
When
just
my
to like
film-
laugh. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, when my film got added to Letterboxd, I read every single review, and I still do every time they come in. I want to know. What were you gonna say, Sean?
I was gonna say I would just to laugh. I don't know if I would take it personally. I already know like the kind of movies I make. Not everybody's gonna like, so I would probably just have a good time like laughing at the reviews of people not liking it. Um,
That's a good way
like
to deal with criticism.
but I don't know. I guess I would have to see how it affected me because some people like it really affects them. If there's like negative reviews. Although Letterboxd does get directors on to read the 1-star reviews on their YouTube channel.
That's funny. I did not know they did that.
Yeah.
They have a YouTube channel?
They do. They'll get directors and actors on and like have them say their top 4 like films and have them read Letterboxd reviews. Yeah.
That's funny.
They had
Subscribe.
what's his face? Edgar Wright on recently for the Shaun of the Dead 10-year anniversary or whatever it was, 10 or 20. The 20
That
year actually.
Cornello trilogy is brilliant.
Yeah, no, literally. It is. So yeah.
Didn't he do Baby Driver? Or who am I
Yeah.
thinking of? Yeah.
He did do Baby Driver. He
I
did Scott
love
Pilgrim.
Baby Driver. Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
He also did
Yeah.
Last Night in Soho.
I still need to watch that.
Me
Is
too.
it Last Night in like New York Soho or the other Soho that's like in like England, I think. There's one in England, right?
I don't know.
Is there a Soho England? Guys, I'm finna get canceled by our like 2 years.
Why?
Oh yeah, there is a Soho in England. But there's a Soho in New York, so does it take place in England or New York?
Probably New York. Well, no. Matt Smith is in it, so maybe England. I don't know for sure.
looking
1960s
it up.
London.
Oh, okay. All right, gotcha.
It is a psychological horror, supernatural horror, teen horror, drama, horror, mystery, thriller. I think this is a scary
Ooh.
movie.
Have you seen it, Obed?
No, I did
Okay.
just add it to my watch list. I don't know if I'm actually going to end up watching this.
All right, well,
I
thanks for
will-
joining the podcast, guys. We're watching Hereditary for the net. No, I'm kidding.
No.
I did watch Midsommar recently, and that was actually a lot harder for me to watch than Hereditary.
Oh, bro. Cult
Hereditary
movies
is
are
almost a comfort movie
insane.
for me, but Midsommar is rough.
Nope. I'm not watching either. I don't do very well with horror.
That's fair.
I can do monster movies
Yeah.
and I can do like psychological stuff, but once it starts getting demonic or other stuff like that, I'm like, no.
No,
So
hear
I
you.
have to judge each movie on its own, but
Yeah, for
often
sure.
there aren't very, there's a lot of movies that I can look at and be like, that's an absolute no from me. It's pretty
That's
easy.
fair. Like Bones and All?
Oh my goodness.
Is
Isn't
that
that
the
That's the Timmy Yummy Yummy Cannibal movie.
didn't Johnny watch that one?
He did with his sister.
Didn't he?
We'll have Johnny talk
Dude, you know
about
he
it on
watched
the
Poor Things
podcast.
with his parents in the theater?
Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh, he
gosh.
watched it with his parents?
He would though.
I
Bro,
watched Poor
so
Things.
cooked.
I watched Poor Things. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see the hype. I know I might get some
Yeah.
hate if we have any.
I mean, I don't like
Poor-
Yorgos. I don't like that director. He made The Lobster and I hated The Lobster. Although I haven't seen
I-
like
I
He
like the
also made Kinds of
cinematography for Poor
Kindness.
Things,
Oh, I
but
would love Kinds
that's
of
it.
Kindness, I feel like, but I haven't seen it. He also
You said
made
you
Killing of a Sacred Deer.
you said you like the cinematography, Asher.
I like the cinematography for Poor Things, but that's literally it. That's it. I don't like the story. I don't
Yeah,
like
that's
the
fair.
writing. I don't. It's just a very. It's a
Right,
film that got so hyped up. I guess my expectations were somewhere. I don't know, like maybe
right.
too high. But once I watched, I'm like, what am I watching? What is this? I
Okay.
People
don't
just
know.
want weird at this point,
Yeah,
and that's what that movie
you could
was.
be
Speaking of
weird.
weird, y'all ready for Nosferatu?
No,
Yo, you about to pop off.
No cap.
nope,
I
not
see
watching that.
Sonic 3 tomorrow.
Yo, I'm
I wanted
cooked.
to go today. I might go tomorrow.
Yeah, I
Yo,
haven't seen
there's
it
this new
too.
film called Nickel Boys that is it's like almost all POV, but the first draft of the script was like all pictures. It wasn't actually like a formal script. And it's doing really well. Like it seems really interesting.
Which film?
Nice.
It's called Nickel Boys.
Oh, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I think
I'm gonna watch it soon.
bet.
I almost spelled boys with an I.
Bruh.
We.
I'm cooked.
Boys.
Dang, bro,
Interesting.
this looks beautiful. Wow, the trailer's wild.
Have you seen the movie?
Me? Not yet.
Hmm.
No. I'm going to. I mean, there's a lot of theaters here showing it, so going to
Did it
likely.
just come out?
It did, yeah, like a week or two
Oh,
ago.
2024.
Yeah.
Chronicles the powerful friendship between two young black teenagers navigating the harrowing trials to reform school together in Florida. That was cool.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, in
Yeah, it's based on
Florida.
a true story. It's like a school that like abused kids and like I think killed them too.
Interesting.
Killed them.
Um
What?
no, like I think there's actually like graves in the school. Like yeah, it's like really
What?
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
Nah.
It's Florida, you know.
It's Florida. Anything can
Yo,
happen here.
I
Bruh.
what I'm really excited for is for A24's Minecraft movie. That's gonna be great.
Oh my goodness.
Minecraft,
Ah
the other
man.
movie.
We all know the real hype. We all know the real hype. So, to our audience, today, Christopher Nolan announced his new
Oh my
film.
God.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, The Odyssey. I remember when I had to read that in high school
Same.
for like a grade. Now it's being made into a film by Christopher Nolan. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like if he's gonna make it well, it has to be the least Christopher Nolan movie he's ever made.
Has he ever made?
Mm,
Well, he made Batman. He made Dark
But the
Knight. I
thing
was
is, like,
like,
this is
that was
like mythology. Like, I just feel like it can't. Nolan has a very take Inception for example. It's a
yeah.
very coveragey, fast cut, like it's a great movie, but it's like pretty traditional action movie.
Hmm.
If you take that style and apply it to like let's say The Lighthouse, or not The Lighthouse, but like I don't know, The Northman, which is what I think a movie like The Odyssey would need. Although, however, I will say if he does nullify it, there's a chance it'll be closer to something like Dune, which
Hmm.
mixes like mythology with that kind of big Hollywood-esque feel. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just hope because a lot of directors, and again, like he proved me wrong with his last film. Like he didn't fall off after Tenet. Like Oppenheimer's probably his best film. But I just feel like directors, once they keep getting more and more power and money, they keep going for bigger and bigger and bigger things. They kind of lose sight of like character and like really meaningful cinema. But I'm not gonna judge. You know, I probably be probably I'm probably wrong, and it'll probably be great, just like Oppenheimer was. But who knows?
We'll just have to wait
he
and see.
Christopher Nolan's generally a pretty good director, I would say. I think Tenet was really rough and that was kind of worrisome, but as
It
a
was still
whole, it's
fire
just
though.
like
As
it's
a
still
vibe
pretty good.
movie,
Yeah,
as just like a vibe movie, it's great. The thing is, I
I like
think.
that.
Oh, go
Hmm.
ahead. Sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
Let's say like it's not meant to be understood, and that's the thing. Um, like people got so caught up in like I don't get it, but it's not. That's not what it's about. Like she literally says in the beginning, like don't try to understand it, feel it. And so, um, anyways, I mean it's yeah, it's like not a perfect film. And I really am curious about like his outline. Like what did his outline look like for that, bro? Like bro probably like inverted time himself to write the movie.
Have you seen the way like his explanation of his timelines?
Yeah, the Memento film where he draws this weird like pin and is like
It's
yeah.
it's like a U,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And like
Yeah, I remember.
the beginning of the sideways U is like both the
Right.
beginning and the end of the film, and the end of the film is the middle of the story.
Right. And in that video, he was like, I'm not really good at putting things out visually, but and then he proceeds to draw this really crazy like outline that was super interesting. It's
Which,
really
when I
funny.
think of his stories, I think of that visualization, and I'm like, oh, I get it now. We're good.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was really good at him explaining that. Tenet was
Right.
interesting. The first time I watched it, I enjoyed it. The second time I watched it, I enjoyed it, but I was confused. And then, like you said, Sean, it's not a movie you're supposed to understand. You're just supposed to feel it.
Right.
And I need to watch it again to know how I feel about it. But I
Yeah.
generally, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Like I'll put it on and I'm not gonna shut it off. Like I'll just keep watching. But Oppenheimer was better. One of the best movies he's ever made, if not the best movie. Maybe Interstellar's a competitor.
Interstellar is my favorite Nolan film. I
Interstellar
wish I saw.
sucks. Oh, I'm kidding.
Whoa!
I have it tattooed on me. I don't think it sucks.
Oh, that's right. You have the Morse code tattoo, right?
Yeah.
That's dope. I wish I
There is
saw the
also
anniversary re-release, but I didn't have the time.
Oh,
But
I
that's
remember. I
okay.
thought you were going.
I thought I was, but I just didn't have the time. I just kept getting busy with family, but that's okay. I own it on 4K. I'm fine.
Yeah, but there's nothing like watching a movie in the theaters. Like
When
I
it's
So
have
true.
IMAX,
Yeah, so
oof.
true.
I have that 4K screen. I have the good sound system, but going to the theater is still so much better. You know,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
the
Like
smell when you walk
yeah.
in, the
What?
popcorn, the food.
Okay.
Wait, what?
It's a world.
What'd you say, Sean?
I said what? No, I'm kidding.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, I just love the feeling of being in the theater, sitting in the chairs. Hopefully
That
the AC is on, and if not, oh well.
yeah, I think like the cinema experience is like so like spiritual. Like I don't know, like it's just you're so invited into it, you know, and like just participating with the audience. It's another beautiful part. Check out what I put in the general chat, guys. Oh wait, not the
Oh boy.
general. Actually,
Welcome and
wait.
rules.
Oh,
We're
I guess I
on
did put
we're
in
on
welcome and rules.
Discord,
My
by the
bad.
way, audience.
What'd you say?
Um, yeah, check out the welcome and rules thing.
Is that his
What?
timeline?
Yeah,
What
It's
in the world is
That's what I was talking
that?
about earlier.
that's his outline for Memento. Bro literally drew a nuke, bro. He was writing Oppenheimer before we ever knew it.
It's a
I'm gonna try to
U.
link. I'm gonna link the video in the description of the show, so hopefully you guys can
Do
watch it.
it. Guys, when I first saw oh wait, you were with me, Obed, when we watched Oppenheimer. I don't know if you remember, Obed, that like during the first 20 minutes, like the projectionist accidentally like put his hand in front of the projector for like a second. And I at first I was like, was that the projectionist or is this some artistic transition Christopher Nolan is trying? And I like really didn't know for a minute, but then I was like, no, I think that was the projectionist.
I forgot about that
Yeah.
moment, bro.
Yeah, I remember we were
That was
right
an
up against the
experience.
screen, dude.
We were in
It
like
was like the
the
midnight
fourth
screening.
row.
Dude, that was wild. And like Johnny and Gabe were all the way in the back.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was
In the
crazy.
world?
I was supposed. So here's what happened. So me, Johnny, and Gabe all watched the movie together. I think there might have been one other person. I can't remember.
And you didn't
Um,
invite me. I'm just kidding. It's okay.
Correct. Johnny had bought my ticket, and when I got there, it turns out he had bought my ticket for the day after.
Oh,
So last minute, he purchased another ticket, and Sean last minute decided to join. And
I
he
was
purchased
at
a
Disney
ticket.
Springs, like coincidentally. I
oh, was it
at
the
Yeah.
Disney
70
Springs.
millimeter theater?
Yeah,
Yes, when we watched it in
yeah,
70
I
millimeter.
saw. That's where I saw Oppenheimer.
that's
Oh,
crazy.
so basically, the only open seats left over were in like the fourth row, almost in the middle, slightly off to the left, I think. So me and Sean were just like, well, we're sitting here, and we sat in between whoever was there and fourth row, like my neck hurts so bad after watching that film,
Yeah, dude.
but it was so worth it. I should have taken photos of everyone's close-ups so we can see their funny heads.
That's crazy.
Well, 12 Angry Men is the movie that we're here to talk about.
Oh,
We were talking about
really?
that movie?
Yeah,
I forgot
guys,
for a
here
second,
I
to be
did take a
honest.
photo of the screen where we were. Go to the welcome and rolls.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
boy. That was not your photo. That was
Bro, I know it's not. Bro looks like Thanos.
He does look like Thanos.
yeah, obviously you guys listening to this can't see, and we're not doing a video podcast. Shawn just put a photo of this really up close picture from the projector of what's his name, Oppenheimer. Ugh, I don't like that photo. Okay. I like
12
this
Angry
getting
Men.
off topic
Great,
and talking about
great
whatever.
movie.
Yes.
5 out of
Recommend
5.
it.
5 out of 5.
Yes.
There we go.
Highly recommend.
5 out of 5.
Yeah, I
Shawn,
didn't really
what's-
like 11 angry middle-aged women.
Is that the reboot?
Yeah, it's the cash grab sequel that Universal Studios is putting out.
Oh my goodness.
Is that a reference towards Ocean's 8?
No, but it can be.
Well, now it is.
So you know how there was Twister and then there's Twisters? I'm gonna make 12 Angry
Oh.
Men's.
Forgot that Shawn does not like twisters.
You don't like Twisters?
Wait, can I read you my review? Can I get the honor of reading the review on the podcast?
Go ahead.
All right.
Well, before you start, is language allowed on the podcast?
If not, I'll just like replace the word.
I would replace
Yeah, just
it.
replace the word for now.
Okay, I will. So my review for Twisters, hold on. Let me see. Okay. Okay, my review for Twisters. I'm pulling it up, sorry.
Didn't you give
Okay.
it a half star?
Half a star. Watched July 26, 2024. I absolutely loved Twisters: The Last Jedi. Walmart McConaughey and McLaren Hathaway's chemistry was unbelievably captivating and immersing. The fact that Lee Isaac Chung could go from making Minari to presenting a beautiful pile of smelly, steaming crap to the world is an enigma of an achievement. This is the reason I also make movies, to reach audiences that are in need of bleach in the cinema. I hope that one day the dine-in cinemas will offer bleach as an option. At 12 years old, my grandfather accidentally shot his toe off. During this film, I quietly contemplated on how that experience must have felt. Maybe if I did the same, I might immerse myself within a beautiful moment in my life in which I bond with my nurses and receive love and care from my family and friends. Who wouldn't like getting flowers from your family after losing a toe? Would it hurt more if one lost a toe to a 9mm or a 30-30 caliber round? I hope I can ride my fears of sending studios smelly piles of crap in the mail with full expectancy that it will be the next summer's groundbreaking blockbuster.
Bruh.
That's crazy.
Rare.
Oh, but I'm sorry. I know you like the movie, and the like. No hate to you.
It's too late. We're no longer friends.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
too late.
No, I'm joking. Everyone's obviously entitled to their own opinion, no
Right,
matter how
right.
wrong they are.
Yeah.
I loved the movie. I watched it just in my living room randomly one day. We just put it on. My dad was watching with me, and
Yeah.
I was just like, "This movie's great." It just felt like a solid blockbuster, a summer blockbuster.
Right.
And for me, despite the fact that I didn't watch it when it came out, it still stood out amongst the ever-growing amount of blockbusters. I was watching it in like a video essay the other day, just talking about how there's too many blockbusters. And
Yeah.
I think if there had to be one this year, like Twisters for me would have been one of the ones that should have been released.
Okay.
Because I just thought it was solid and just
I feel like
enjoyable.
if you look at
Nothing
it as a
like
just kind of fun
special, but
movie. Right.
just solid.
Yeah, I think maybe I just wasn't in the fun movie mindset. Like that happened to me when I was watching Stranger Things 4. I kept like getting annoyed at like the writing and cinematography, and then I was like, you know what, Shawn? It's just a fun little nostalgic show. And then I started really enjoying it. So maybe that's what needed to happen with Twisters in me.
Yeah, you can't go into every movie with the same mentality because we all have our preferences.
Yeah, exactly.
So you
yeah.
need to like who's the movie for?
Right,
What's it
exactly.
for? And then from there, you're like Sean, if you rewatch it with more of the mentality of this is just a fun movie, maybe you'll
Yeah.
like it more. But it
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's a perfect movie for you. It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
you understand who it's for, and you understand it's
Exactly.
not for you.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
What makes a movie a bad movie?
Watch The Room.
I think a bad movie is just lack of artistic integrity, which
Mhm.
is a lot of movies these days that they just don't care. They're just trying to make money. So
No voice from any of the creators.
yeah, no voice, no heart, no like interesting perspective on life. It's just like, well, here's another cash grab.
Mm-hmm,
I'm
mm-hmm.
like,
Mufasa.
I don't need it. Oh my God, bro, don't
Have
even
you
get me
watched it?
started.
No, I'm not
Ugh.
going to.
Yeah, please
Okay.
don't give them your money,
I'll
guys.
I'll make this quick. I got in an argument with a Disney adult today about the movie. So basically, I made a comment on a comment section on a Instagram post saying how Mufasa wasn't needed and it's just unimportant. And
Agreed.
so basically, this apparently this random Disney adult dude replied saying, "You don't understand. The fans wanted this forever." I'm like, "What fans?" I love Lion King. I
Yo,
love the original Lion King, but I never asked I want a Mufasa origin story. Like what? Something, and he's like, everything needs to be answered. I'm like, no, sometimes it's up to the person's imagination to figure out what the origin is. You don't need an answer for everything to make a good movie. And so he then like realized that he was losing the argument, so he started crap talking me. He's like, I don't like your name. Your name is crap and stuff like that. And I'm like, what did I do to you? I just
I'm
said my
dead.
opinion about a movie coming out,
That's so
and
funny.
instead of you just accepting my opinion for what it is, you made fun of my name. Like I don't
I'm cooked.
understand. But yeah, Sonic 3 over
That's
Mufasa,
wild.
100%. Go support Sonic 3 for the fans. Mufasa is a movie that wasn't needed. I'm sorry, Disney, if you're hearing this. Please don't fire me. Well, I'm
No,
not even
Disney, hear
hired.
us out. Stop making crappy
Make
movies,
Fire you?
please.
Who's gonna
make
fire you?
I don't know, like say in the future I get a job with them and they're like, "We saw your podcast. Get out of here." um,
Really,
but yeah,
really quickly. When are you watching Sonic?
11:40 tomorrow
Cinemark?
at Cinemark, correct.
Okay, I may see
It
you
might
there.
be a
Okay.
sold
Bet I'll
out
join you guys.
show. It might be a sold out show.
Crap.
You might want to
I'm
check.
kidding. I can't.
I know.
Which
you
I was
can't,
surprised because it's
Sean, but you
tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas, boys. Merry
should. Oh
Christmas.
yeah,
Oh, Merry
we're
Christmas Eve Eve, guys. Check
Merry
out the
Christmas
the
Eve
Christmas
Eve.
meme I just sent in the welcome and rules.
Oh no.
for those listening. As you can tell, we record these episodes way in advance. Oh my gosh. And that's because we're all pretty busy people, so we need to have stuff in our back pocket. Um, and we just want to get recording, but we don't want to release until January.
Mm-hmm.
Asher, the same thing that happened to you didn't happen to me, but like every time I discuss my extremely unpopular opinion of how much I hate the movie Moana,
You don't
it
like
happens.
Moana?
I can't stand that
Bro,
movie,
I walked
bro.
out of Moana 2. My sister
haven't-
suggested we walked out of Moana 2. So we walked into Venom 3, which was equally as bad, but at least a little more funny.
I haven't
I
seen
can't
Moana 2
stand-
yet.
I can't stand Moana, and Moana 2 is on my never, ever, ever list.
I'm glad you have a never ever list.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
bruh.
so interesting.
So when I first watched it, I was just examining the story. I was like, it just felt like they were trying to hit a lot of the beats from Frozen, and they just wanted to make another movie with singing and fancy characters so that way they could sell some stuff. And I was like, I could see right through it rather than telling a story I was actually interested in. I understand the movie was not necessarily made for me, but you should still be making a solid movie. And if someone else thinks it's solid, if you guys think it's solid, that's fine. But I can't stand it.
Interesting. I thought the first one was okay. I still have yet to see the sequel. I personally don't want to watch the sequel because I've heard it's
Don't.
quick
Don't give them your money.
cash grab
It
because
is.
apparently it used to be a TV show,
Yeah.
and then Disney turned it into a movie to get an extra buck.
That's
So
like
I
the
was like,
Disney trend
oh.
now. It's either what happens is either it's a movie and then they split it into a 6-episode show and it doesn't work, or it's a 6-episode show and they combine it into a movie and it doesn't work. And that's literally been every movie and show that's come out from Disney for the past few years.
That's not new though. So Disney's been doing that for a while. The sequel to Atlantis was the exact same thing. It was intended to be a show, and they ended up turning it into a film because they wanted to
interesting.
release it in theaters instead because they realized it wasn't
Yeah.
going to work as a show. So that's just one example, but a lot of the straight to DVD sequels that we've seen from Disney, not all of them, but many of them, the newer ones, they have all been shows that were then merged together. I think, I could be wrong, Lilo and Stitch might have done the same thing for one of their films. I
Interesting.
might just be confusing that with the fact that they made a film for the show that they made.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably is that.
But that might be it. But I do know for a fact that Atlantis 2, whatever it's called, was originally supposed to be a show. So it's not new, but it is irritating.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can start wrapping this up here. What do you guys think? Or do you want to keep talking?
Should I announce the next movie, or should we just leave that up to
we're
suspense?
We're going to get there. I just wanted to know if we were like at the end.
I'm pretty sure we're at the end.
Yeah.
We've kind of dragged on to other conversais. I feel like when we label these episodes, we should label it as the movie we're reviewing and then film talk or something like that.
I was going to call this episode 12 Angry Men and then some.
Gotcha. I'm pretty sure this is longer than 12 Angry Men now.
Probably, yeah.
I'm at an hour and 18
30 minutes. So we're 12 minutes short of the movie. So we should make a commentary, like put this alongside the movie.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. So halfway through, it starts talking nothing about 12 Angry Men.
Yeah, and then you time it to where you watch it on New Year's Eve. So when he puts the knife down, then it's New Year's, and you have our podcast in the background.
There you go.
That'd
be cool though. One day we watch a movie and comment on it while it's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be?
Bro, we should make director's commentaries for our films.
Oh my gosh, we should have.
Wait, we need to.
I'm gonna go do it for Haven.
We still can, bro.
Yeah, and the thing is, we should do it with because a lot of commentaries are actually multiple people from the cast and crew, so we can do director, DP, director, editor, director, DP, editor. That'll be fun.
Everyone
the thing is,
in
I
this
just
call,
don't. I think it would be like nobody cares, but it would be fun to do it.
Everyone in this call worked on Golden Figure. Let's do Golden
wild.
Figure.
Yeah, it makes me want to twerk.
Bruh.
I painted the Lego.
And you were acting in it. So we will consider doing a commentary on our own films and possibly a commentary on a future film because that'd actually be pretty fun to shoot. Talk while watching. Yeah, Asher, do you want to announce next week's movie?
Yeah, give me a drum roll, please. Next week's movie is Edge of Tomorrow, starring Tom Cruise. I've never seen it, but it's been on my watch list forever.
Wait, Edgy
And the funny
Tomorrow?
thing is, whoa. Pause.
Yes, Edgy Tomorrow.
The funny thing is, I own this movie and I have yet to watch it. So I definitely need to
movies like that.
watch it.
Bro.
So this is the perfect opportunity. So I'm gonna use this as a reason to watch it because I heard pretty good things. I've just never seen it, nor do I know a lot about it. So I'm kind of going in blind. I've never seen the trailer. I've seen like maybe one or two clips, but I barely remember them. So I'm excited to see what I'm getting into.
I have seen it. It's been a while. I personally quite enjoy the film, so I'm excited to watch it again. As of recording this, it was on sale everywhere for like $5. So I don't know if by the time this gets released, that is still true. But if you want to watch it with us, it is currently not streaming, but 10 days or like 9 days from now. So by the time we release this, it should be on Prime Video, hopefully. Yeah, it's a solid film. Do you want to read the synopsis, Asher? I think it'd be good to get into
I even
that.
have it pulled out. I know it starts with like live, die, repeat. Hold on, I got it on my phone.
That's
Doing this
the
now.
letterboxed synopsis. I have it here, open here. Just-
Oh, you read it then.
Major Bill Cage is an officer who has never seen a day of combat when he is unceremoniously demoted and dropped into combat. Cage is killed within minutes, managing to take an alpha alien down with him. He awakens back in the beginning of the same day and is forced to fight and die again and again, as physical contact with the alien has thrown him into a time loop.
Interesting. I'm
It is
excited.
Groundhog
yeah.
Day with aliens.
Ooh. Okay, bet.
Wait, this
I'm
sounds like
excited.
Tenet. Oh, kidding.
I actually haven't seen Groundhog Day. The only thing I know about it is that the day repeats.
Interesting.
It's a cool movie. I'm excited to watch it and talk about it next week.
Bet.
Lit. All right, homies.
All right. Well, thank you for everyone listening, and thank you to Asher, Nizril, and Shawn for being on the show and
Thank
watching
you,
the
Obed.
movie and talking with me.
As always.
Always
was
happy
fun.
to be here.
May the force be with you.
And also with you. I love putting up the Star Trek hand signal, and saying "May the Force be with you." It irritates people and makes others laugh. If you're not already following us on Instagram, check us out. We are at watchlist.podcast, I believe. There will be posting information regarding the upcoming episodes. And also, let us know if there's any films you want us to see. We have an ever-growing watch list, and it'll never go away, but we do like watching movies, so we're fine with just continuing to watch stuff. And yeah, we're going to continue rotating. So next week is Asher's pick, and then Johnny, Chase, and Shawn, and then back to me. So that's going to be quite exciting. And wherever you're listening to us, we're available pretty much everywhere. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, should be on any of your favorite RSS readers. So have fun with that. Anything you guys want to say?
Merry Christmas, guys.
And a
Merry
Happy New
Christmas,
Year.
you filthy animals.
Yeah, again, we're recording this the day before Christmas Eve, so December 23rd. This is not coming out until like the second or third week of January. So,
Oh, excuse me. Sorry to interrupt.
yeah. Bruh. That's funny. All right. Well, bye.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Are we actually saying bye or just saying bye in podcast?
Leave that in.
We're saying bye in the podcast.